The name of the night's class is I Am Light. All right? I am light. It's a lot of, speaking of light, it's a lot of scriptures to get through tonight. So Lord's will we able to get through all this. It is a lot. But the name of the class is I Am Light. Lot was a person, the nephew of our forefather Abraham. All right? And a symbol of what we are today in this last captivity. So before we start, pull up that first screenshot. All right? If you missed this class a couple of weeks ago by Captain Young, make sure y'all go and check this class out. All right? This class was inspiration for me to go back and study Genesis. All right? The stuff that he brought out, a lot of it going to be in this class, obviously, because we dealing with Lot, which dwelt in Sodom. Right? But Captain Young, masterful teacher, beautiful class. Make sure y'all check that out. All right? Now, let's open up with Job chapter 11 and verse 6. Job 11 and verse 6. Now, I'm going to be moving kind of quick. Now, I'm going to say this too, because I've been going back and looking at my classes, and then I go and look at my other favorite teachers, and I be like, damn, they be having more scriptures than me, but they classes be half the length. They be getting through them joints. I be taking all day and pausing and talking, and I got to get more faster. So today I'm going to try that. I'm going to see how it works today. All right? But let's open up with Job 11 and 6.
The book of Job, chapter 11 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
And that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is.
Right, so the secrets of wisdom are double to that which is, meaning the scriptures is not just surface level, how we learn them in Christianity, how you read the Bible like a novel, right, on a surface level. God is letting us know these scriptures are not just, they're all deeper than the surface. The secrets of wisdom are double to that which is. Go ahead.
Know therefore that God exacted of thee less than thine iniquity deserveth.
Now get Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9.
Go ahead.
The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
God said there is no new thing under the sun. That which have been is that which shall be. Now, what is this thing? Go to chapter 6, verse 10.
Ecclesiastes, chapter 6, and verse 10.
Come on.
That which hath been is named already. And it is known that it is man.
It is what?
It is man.
So what was Solomon talking about in chapter 1? The spirits of man. So that's why when you read Genesis, you got to pay attention. You got to soak it in. The whole Bible. Because all of these spirits will come back into the earth and do the same things. Go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Now read verse 10.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 10.
Come on.
Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new?
Uh-huh.
It hath been already of old time.
Of what?
Of old time.
Of old time. Go ahead.
Which was before us.
Which was before us. We going to learn today what you see in America. It took place in a land called Sodom. You understand? It has already been before us. Go to 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. Read that.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, and verse 42.
Come on.
And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring.
Unto a what?
Unto a ring.
A ring does not have a dead end, or it just go around and around and around. God said he likens his judgment unto a ring. You understand? Think about it like this. The white man that raped, robbed, murdered our ancestors. You think our God gonna let them get away with that? No. But they died peacefully while they owned the plantation with our forefathers and slaves, right? No. God is gonna bring them back in the earth to judge them. You understand? So all the spirits that have been created, they always come back around. All right, go ahead.
Like as there is no slackness of the last.
Come on.
Even so, there is no swiftness of the first.
So go to 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 9. So this is going to give context to the class today. All right, read what you got.
2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And again in process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world, and destroyedest them.
So during the time of Genesis, when you read from starting with Adam all the way to chapter 6, it tells about the state of the earth leading up to the flood. All right? So God brought the flood upon the world and destroyed the people that dwelt in it. Read.
And it came to pass in every of them, that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these.
Read.
Nevertheless, one of them thou leftest.
So one of them he left. Read.
Namely, Noah, with his household, of whom came all righteous men.
So out of all the people that was in the earth at that time, the Lord only preserved the one man in his household, and that was Noah. And from Noah came Shem, that lineage, that godly lineage. All right? Go ahead.
And it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply.
So when the descendants of Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth began to multiply, read.
And had gotten them many children, and were a great people.
Go ahead.
They began again to be more ungodly than the first.
So when you read Genesis and you think, damn, that was wicked as hell, the Lord had to destroy with a flood. Not long after they repopulated after the flood, they began to be worse than the people that God had to destroy with the flood. So this is the world that Abraham and Lot was living in. All right, let's go to Genesis chapter 11. Genesis 11:27.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 27. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor,
and Terah was of the lineage of Shem. It says Terah begat Abram. Abram went on to be who we know as Abraham, right? Our forefather. So his father's name was Terah. Go ahead.
Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begat Lot.
So Haran was Terah's son, which was Abram's brother. So his son was Abraham's nephew, which was Lot. But watch this, read.
And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees.
In where?
In Ur of the Chaldees.
So this is where they dwelt, in Ur of the Chaldees. Now let's get that in the Zondervan real quick. About Ur of the Chaldees. Ur of the Chaldees. Read that.
This is the Zondervan, page 597.
Come on.
Ur of the Chaldees, the early home of Abraham, mentioned in Genesis 11:28 through 31.
Read.
15 and 7, First Chronicles, and in Nehemiah 9 and 7. Located in southern Mesopotamia, about 140 miles southeast of the site of Old Babylon.
Right. So Babylon was, or Babel, was the capital of Chaldea. Chaldea was a place. When it said Ur of the Chaldees was not a lineage, right? That was not a seed line. It was a place, right? So it was, the Ur was 140 miles, what did it say, southeast of the capital, Babylon, of the country of Chaldea, right? So just to put it into perspective for us in Little Rock, it was the same distance away as Memphis. All right, but go ahead. Yeah, keep reading.
Education was well developed at Ur, for a school was found there with its array of clay tablets. Further studies have revealed the fact that commerce was well developed and that ships came into Ur from the Persian Gulf, bringing diorite and alabaster used in statue
Used
making.
in what?
Used in statue making.
Used in statue making. Read.
Copper ore, ivory, gold, and hardwood.
So it wasn't like they was walking around with sticks and cloths and, you know, they be trying to portray the old biblical times. No, they had gold and, you understand, they was able to make statues. Now keep that in mind. They were able to make statues. Okay? Now, go back to Genesis 11. So that's dealing with Ur of the Chaldees. It was in the country of Chaldea where Babylon was the capital. It was 140 miles away from Babylon, or Babel. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 29.
Come on.
And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren. She had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees.
So Terah, which was Abram's father, he took Abram and his grandson Lot, because remember his son, which was Lot's dad, he was dead. So Terah took Abram, he took the other brother Nahor, and he took his grandson Lot from Ur of the Chaldees. Go ahead.
To go into the land of Canaan.
Uh-huh.
And they came unto Haran and dwelt there.
So now, why did they leave? Go to Judah chapter 5, verse 6. Why did they leave Ur of the Chaldees? Let's read that.
The book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 6.
Go ahead.
This people are descended of the Chaldeans, and they sojourned heretofore in Mesopotamia.
So this is a heathen going into the history of the Israelites. So he started all the way back from our forefather Abraham. That's why he said they descend from the Chaldeans. Because remember, that's where Abraham dwelt, right? In the land of Chaldea, Ur specifically. So it says that they are descended of the Chaldeans, verse 7.
And they sojourned heretofore in Mesopotamia, because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea.
So wait a minute. So the reason why Terah took Abram, Nahor, and his grandson Lot out of Ur of the Chaldees, because they no longer wanted to serve the gods or the idols in the land of Chaldea. Now, what was going on there? Let's go back to Genesis chapter 10. And so to help everybody out, like when you read Genesis, when you read Genesis 1, when it say God said, let us make man in our image, and then you go to chapter 2, and it say he made Adam from the dust of the ground, it's not necessarily always chronological. Meaning what? He could say something in chapter whatever, and in the next chapter, he's saying something that goes with the same time period as the previous chapter. All right, so Genesis 10, verse 8.
The book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod.
And Cush begat who?
Nimrod.
So Cush was a son of Ham. So in the land of Chaldea, it was a mixture of Hamites and Shemites. All right? So it says Cush begat Nimrod. Go ahead.
He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore, it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord.
So when it says Nimrod was a mighty hunter, it ain't just talking about hunting game, right? Hunting animals. He was also a hunter of souls. You understand? He was gathering people to believe in him and also what he believed. And we going to get into that. Go ahead.
And the beginning of his kingdom
was... The beginning of his what?
And the beginning of his kingdom.
So he was the first Hamitic king. Right. You understand? In the beginning of his kingdom, go ahead.
Was Babel.
Was what?
Babel.
Was Babel, or Greek is Babylon. So this is Neo-Babylon, ancient Babylon. Go ahead.
And Erech, and Akkad, and Calne, in the land of Shinar.
Now go to chapter 11 and verse 4. So remember it says the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. How did this capital city, or the kingdom, the city of his throne, get its name? How did it get that name, Babel? Read.
Genesis chapter 11, verse 4.
Go ahead.
And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven.
Whose top may reach unto heaven. Now remember, this is post-flood. So Nimrod, Babel was the beginning of his kingdom. We're reading about how Babel got its name. So the leader of this, the ringleader here, is Nimrod. He says, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. Don't that sound familiar? Whose top may reach unto heaven. Go ahead.
Lest we be scattered abroad.
And let us make us.
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole
So it's
earth.
two things here. Now you got to think the objective of the flood and having knowledge of the flood, that's supposed to put the fear of God in you. But Nimrod that's what the name actually means, rebellious. He wanted to rebel against God. So you ain't going to be able to destroy us with a flood no more. We going to build our city, the tower of our city, up to the sky. So you ain't going to be able to do us like that no more. And then also when it says, let us make us a name, what does that mean? Like when you read in the scriptures, when people was like, I'm going to get me a name, they trying to overthrow the leader. They want preeminence. In this context, to this magnitude, the Nimrod's magnitude was to get preeminence over God. He wanted to be God on earth. Now jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh. So we know what the Lord ended up doing. He scattered the languages and all of that, right? So they wasn't able to fulfill their enterprise. But read verse 9.
Therefore is the name of it called Babel.
Read.
Because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth.
And that word Babel means confusion. Confusion, right? Babel or Babylon means confusion. Go ahead.
And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
All right. So from there, give me the first article. All right. Yep, that's it right there. Put that on the screen. Read that for me.
Nimrod and the mysteries. Nimrod and his religion have shaped much of the profane world. The Bible only gives a brief account of Nimrod and the foundation of Babylon, but it is possible to tie this in with the histories of the ancient classical writers who have provided significant information about Babylon's founder and first king, especially Hislop's momentous The Two Babylons, first published in the 1850s. Another book is Babylon, Mystery Religion by Woodrow, which complemented and updated the work of Hislop. Nimrod founds Babylon.
So this is Nimrod founding Babylon. Go ahead.
Noah was a preacher of righteousness, and his name means rest. He rested in God, his Savior. His one son, Ham, was profane.
Was what?
Profane.
Remember what Ham did? Ham tried to uncover the nakedness of Noah. All right? He was a freaky Abati boy. So it said Ham was profane. Read.
And one of his sons, Cush, begat Nimrod, means rebellion in English.
So Nimrod means rebellion. All right? And then it references the scripture, one of the scriptures that we just read, Genesis 10. Now keep reading. Hislop.
Hislop translated ashore as a verb rather than a proper name. Then the verse reads, out of that land he went, being made strong, and builded Nineveh, which accords precisely with ancient history. Nimrod was the first king of Babylon. Nimrod's wife was Semiramis, noted for her beauty and gross immorality, and licentiousness.
So she was a thought. Go ahead.
Nimrod was known in ancient history as Ninus, a name that came from Hebrew word nin, meaning a son. The significance of this name is that Nimrod was later worshipped as a reborn child.
Now, going back to Semiramis about the gross immorality and the sensuousness, she was also Nimrod's mother, according to legend. All right, but keep reading.
Babel equals Greek.
Babylon
equals Greek, Babel equals Hebrew.
Come on.
Ancient history records show that Nimrod was the first to learn the arts of war and was a mighty warrior and hunter. However, he was also noted for the use of sorcery.
Of what?
Sorcery.
Of what?
Sorcery.
So Nimrod was into witchcraft. Witchcraft was a thing in the earth post-flood. Go ahead.
And fire to gain victories.
And fire. Read.
He was the one who introduced the worship of the sun.
He was what?
He was the one who introduced the worship of the sun.
Or reintroduced the worship of the sun post-flood. All right? Little side note. All right? But post-flood, he pushed the worship of the sun. Read.
This included in its rites the worship of fire, since fire was believed to be the earthly representation of the sun.
Right. So in the earth, he had people worshiping fire. And we're going to show y'all that. Go ahead.
The sun god was worshipped from the earliest times under the name Baal. Thus, Nimrod led a great rebellion against God.
So that's what we just read about. Keep reading.
Scripture also speaks of the Tower of Babel or Babylon that was to reach up to heaven. The Lord overturned the Babylon's plans, though by confusing the language of the people. It is not surprising then to see numerous different names emerging for Nimrod and his wife, when worshipped as gods in subsequent generations by different nations, about 5,000.
So it puts it into perspective why they have so many different names. You got Semiramis, Ishtar, Ashtoreth. You got Nimrod, Ninus, so on and so. It's so many different names for them, but it all goes back to Nimrod. Him and Semiramis, they the original. What you know is Virgin Mary, baby white Jesus. That's them. That's Tammuz. That's Semiramis, right? All right. So that's what they went on to become. But during the time of Abraham and Lot, all right, would it say that he was pushing the worship of the sun? So get that in Wisdom of Solomon 13, verse 1. So all of this is going back to what we read in Judith about they left the Chaldees because they did not want to serve the gods of their fathers, or the people in Chaldea. Read that.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of God, and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, but deemed either fire.
Either what?
Fire.
Either fire, go ahead.
Or wind, or the swift air, or the circle of the stars,
go ahead.
or the violent water, or the lights of heaven, to be the gods which govern the world.
So they was worshiping the natural elements, right? Sun, moon, stars, the constellation, or the wind, the different stuff, the elements in the earth. They were worshiping that stuff. All right. So those were some of the gods of Chaldea. Now give me the next article. All right. So now scroll down. I want to start where it says it is probable. Yep, right there.
It is probable that the gods were in early times only worshipped at their original cities or seats, the various cities or settlements being independent of each other. But it was natural as wars arose, and some cities gained conquest over others, and kings gradually united the country into monarchies, that the people of conquering cities should claim that their gods were superior to those of the cities they conquered. And thus carny the system of different ranks or grades among the gods. Again, colonies were sent out of some cities, and the colonies, as they considered themselves sons of the cities they started from, also considered their gods to be sons of the gods of the mother cities. Political changes in early times led to the rise and fall of various cities and consequently of their deities, and gave rise to numerous myths relating to the different personages in the mythology. In some remote age, there appeared to have been 3 great cities in the country, Erech, Eridu, and Nippur, and their divinities, Anu, He, and Baal, were considered.
And Baal. So not only did they worship the sun, moon, stars, and the elements, but also, as you can see, when different people conquered different places, they would, like that person, that man that conquered that city would be deified as a god, and their child, oh, that's the child that I had with the God that gave me the power. You understand? So men began to be worshipped as gods as well. All right, but keep reading.
The great gods of the country, subsequent changes led to the decline.
Put it back on the screen. Come on.
Subsequent changes led to the decline of these cities, but their deities still retained their position at the head of the Babylonian system. These 3 leading deities form members of a circle of 12 gods, also called great. These gods and their titles are given as, number 1, Anu, king of angels and spirits, lord of the city of Erech. Number 2, Baal.
And that's who Nimrod went on to. That's who he claimed himself to be. Once he died, he reincarnated as fire and was worshipped as Baal. All right? Go ahead.
Lord of the world.
Well, he didn't. Let me rephrase. He didn't reincarnate as fire. He became the sun. He is the sun, and fire is him visiting the earth. Madness. All right, keep reading.
Number 2, Baal, Lord of the world, Father of the gods, Creator, Lord of the city of Nippur. Number 3, Hey, Maker of faith, Lord of the deep, God of wisdom and knowledge, Lord of the city of Eridu. Number 4, Sin, Lord of crowns, Maker of brightness, Lord of the city of
Of where?
Of Ur.
Of where?
Of Ur.
So that's funny because it said Abraham and Lot, they left from Ur of the Chaldees. What was the god of Ur of the Chaldees? Sin. That's funny, ain't it? Huh. All right. Keep reading.
Number 5, Merodach, just prince of the gods, Lord of birth, Lord of the city of Babylon. Number 6, Vol, the strong god, Lord of canals and atmosphere, Lord of the city of Muru. Number 7, Shamash, judge of heaven and earth, director of all, Lord of the cities of Larsa and Sapara. Number 8, Ninip, warrior of the warriors of the gods, destroyer of wicked, Lord of city of Nippur.
And that was another name for Nimrod too, or another personification, or whatever. It's it's confusion. Babylon. Go ahead.
Number 9, Nergal, giant king of war, Lord of the city of Kutha. Number 10, Nusku, holder of the golden scepter, the lofty god. Number 11, Balat, wife of Baal, mother of the great gods, lady of the city of Nippur.
Go ahead.
Number 12, Ishtar, eldest of heaven and earth, raising the face of warriors.
All right. So it said these deities formed the pantheon, right? The 12 main gods of Babylon. So they had a whole system. It was like politics of gods. All right. Now notice the name of the class is I Am Lot. I'm trying to show y'all the parallel between Lot and us. Right? He left the land of his fathers to get away from those guys, to get away from that idolatry, right? Same way as us. It's no different. Go back to Judah 5 and 8. Read that real quick. Matter of fact, get 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. Read that first.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 12 and verse 2.
Come on.
Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols.
So before we came into the truth that we the Israelites, we were just like the other nations. We were carried away unto the dumb idols. We celebrated our birthdays. We believed in horoscopes. You understand? We honored the new year, the pagan holidays. All of that go back to all of those different pagan holidays pay homage to those different Babylonian gods. Go way back to the ancient land of Chaldea. You understand? So just like Lot, Abraham, Lot, and them, they had to get up out of there. That's the same decision we made when we came into the truth. Same thing. We were Gentiles, and we all used to be and believe in those dumb idols. All right? Go to chapter 8, verse 5. Chapter 8, verse 5. No. 1 Corinthians.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 8 and verse 5. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth.
Right. So there be that are called gods in heaven or earth. The sun god, the moon god, or damn Baal, the idol that they make in the earth, or a person. It be many that are called gods. Read.
As there be gods many and lords many. But to us there is but one God.
But to us, it's only one God. Read.
The Father of whom are all things,
Uh-huh.
and we in him,
Read.
and one Lord Jesus Christ, by whom are all things, and we by him.
So the heathens believe in many gods, but we believe in one God and his son Jesus the Christ. Same thing as Abraham and Lot. They heard the Chaldees, that whole country, they had so many damn gods. But they only believed in the one true God. All right, the God of the Hebrews. So now go back to Judah chapter 5. Now read verse 8. Mm-hmm.
The book of Judith, chapter 5 and verse 8.
Read.
For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven.
Ain't that what we did, brothers and sisters? Go ahead.
The God whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of their gods. And they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days.
Right. So that's when the Lord began to bring Abraham on various journeys throughout the land. Right? So now go to Genesis 13. Genesis 13, verse 8.
The book of Genesis, chapter 13 and verse 8. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren.
Right. So Abram and Lot, right, uncle and nephew, they both had servants, they both had possessions, so on and so forth, and it began to be strife amongst their herdsmen. Right? So Abraham makes a proposition. Read on.
Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left.
Read.
And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan.
So Lot looks out his prospective land that he's going to take, right? Go ahead.
That it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right. So he looks on the plain of Jordan where Sodom and Gomorrah is located. And it mentions that this was before the Lord destroyed it, right? So it says that it was well watered. Sodom and Gomorrah, the area that Lot is looking at, was well watered. Go ahead.
Like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto.
Nope, you skipped the most important part I want. Read it again.
Yes, sir. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah.
So this was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So this was in its original state, being well watered. Go ahead.
Even as the garden of the Lord.
Thank you. It was as the garden of the Lord. Wait. What was the garden of the Lord? The Garden of Eden, which is another word for the Garden of Eden in the Bible, was paradise. So this was Sodom and Gomorrah. This is what Lot is looking at. You understand? He set his eyes on paradise. All right? Hold that. Go to Genesis 2. Because well watered. Okay, you might think, okay, well watered. Okay, fruits and stuff grow there. It's fun. Fun in the sun. Right. But what does that also come with? What does that entail, being a land well watered? Read what you got. Genesis 2, verse 10.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 10.
As the garden of the Lord. Read.
And a river went out of Eden.
Out of what?
Out of Eden.
Eden was the garden of the Lord. Go ahead.
To water the garden.
Uh-huh.
And from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads.
Come on.
The name of the first is Pison.
Read.
That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold.
Where there is what?
Gold.
Where there is what?
Gold.
Where there is gold, brothers and sisters. Where there is gold. Go ahead.
And the gold of that land is good.
And it ain't dingy gold. It's good gold. Go ahead.
There is bdellium and the onyx stone.
There is bdellium and the onyx stone. So they had gold, precious stones, and precious minerals, all of that. It was a rich land, right? So go back to Genesis 13. Read 10 one more time.
The book of Genesis, chapter 13, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt,
like the land of Egypt, rich. Read.
as thou comest unto Zoar.
Come on.
Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan.
So he chose that thing. You understand? It was a precious land. Read.
And Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other.
Come on.
Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But
although the land was rich and precious, a place to be desired, but read,
the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly.
But the men of Sodom was wicked exceedingly. All right. Now, give me Sodom in a Merriam-Webster. All right. So when we think about Sodom, Lot looked at the location. He saw that it was rich, it was flourishing. But the people in that rich and flourishing place was wicked as hell. Now, when you think about Sodom, you think, of course, the Bati boys, the faggotry, right? But also, put that on the screen.
Sodom, a place notorious for vice or corruption.
So a place notorious for vice and corruption. Vice or corruption, right? Now, like I said, it's known for notoriously the LGBT activity, right? But also vice. What is vice? Vice is whatever evil that you're into. That could be gambling. That could be gangbanging. That could be, you understand? Hustling, shucking, jiving, scamming, whatever is your vice. You understand? That was a place that was known for, that was notorious for that. Vice and corruption. Now give me Ezekiel 16:49. Ezekiel 16:49. So just to further establish that Sodom was not, it wasn't just about the gay stuff. All right? But read that.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 49.
Go ahead.
Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom.
So God lets us know the iniquity of Sodom specifically. Read.
Pride. Fullness of bread.
Go ahead.
And abundance of idleness was in her. And in her daughters.
Go ahead.
Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy.
Read.
And they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore, I took them away as I saw good.
So now let's break this down. All right? It says, this was the iniquity of Sodom. Pride. Give me that. We'll go to Sirach 10 and 12 first. What is pride? This was the first iniquity of Sodom. Read that.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 12.
Go ahead.
The beginning of pride is when one departed from God, and his heart is turned away from his maker.
Yeah, his heart is turned away from his maker. Go ahead.
For pride is the beginning of sin. And he that hath it shall pour out abomination.
Shall do what?
Pour out abomination.
Read.
And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly.
So any prideful country or prideful place, that's the destiny, right? Jump down to verse 16.
Verse 16.
The
Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth.
Go ahead.
He took some of them away and destroyed them, and hath made their memorial to cease from the earth.
So that's how much the Lord despises pride. Because basically, when you are prideful, it say your heart is turned away from your maker. So you're not subject to God. You essentially become your own God. You understand? That's like a chief or the introduction to idolatry. You understand? Pride. So God has destroyed countries even to the foundations of the earth. Now, go back to Ezekiel 16. Now, matter of fact, read chapter 16, verse 8 in Sirach.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 16 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
Neither spared he the place where Lot sojourned,
Which was Sodom. Read.
but abhorred them for their pride.
God hated the Sodomites for their pride. Now give me the clip. So, pride. Put that on the screen.
Atlanta's Black Gay Pride Weekend also wrapping things up today. The LGBTQ community took over the streets of Atlanta, and not just the ones painted in rainbows. Many people in the community and advocates alike traveled to Atlanta for this event. They say Atlanta is one of the most welcoming and inclusive places for the LGBTQ community, and there's no better place to celebrate.
It's been proven. Atlanta's one of the best places in the world for the LGBTQ community. We have a support system here with our mayor. We have a support system here with our allies. And Atlanta's just a beautiful place in general.
Black Pride could end today, but many in the community are looking ahead to October when the LGBTQ community will celebrate Atlanta Pride.
Gay pride. So they take pride in rebelling against God. All right, that was Sodom. That was the sin of Sodom. Same thing we see today. Go back to Ezekiel 16, verse 49.
Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 49.
Come on.
Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom, pride, fullness of bread.
Fullness of bread. Now, we just showed you, right? It says that it was well watered as the garden of the Lord, meaning as Eden. And Eden, right, due to being well watered, it produced very precious gold, stones, minerals, etc., right? So, fullness of bread. Give me this clip right here. Now, think about it, right? Our people, we at the bottom of the barrel. We broke as hell, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Play that clip.
In 2016, we spent $2 billion on Air Jordans, $4 billion on liquor and alcohol, $600 million on fast food, and we bought twice the amount of Mercedes-Benzes as white America, although white America has twice the wealth of black folk. So the question becomes, what is it about the Mercedes-Benz that makes it so attractive to African Americans even when they can barely afford it? And it's because it's a status symbol.
That's all.
And one thing we know about oppressed people, when you can't enjoy true freedom, you surround yourself with the symbols of that freedom.
Absolutely.
And that's why the Louis bag is so important. That's why our children will kill for Air Jordans. It's not the sneaker. It's what it represents. Right. And if I believe I'm worthless, that means I can only add value to myself by what I put on my body as opposed to what I put in it.
So that's the thing about America. They would not give a nigga freedom. They would give you unlimited symbols of freedom. You understand? And they allow you. You can run it up. You can run the money all the way up. You got to think 100 plus years ago, we had Black Wall Street. We had towns and cities that was flourishing economically amongst ourselves. You know how many black millionaires it is today? America has fullness of bread. Don't let them fool you talking about they $12 trillion behind the deficit. That's cap. They got the highest amount of gold than any other country in the world. If with that, I know people was getting nervous because of that bars or bricks. No, bricks. The Brazil, Russia, India, China, whatever it was. But America is not stunting that. They got more gold. America not stunning that. That's the point. It's fullness of bread here. It was the same thing in Sodom. Read Proverbs 30 and 9. Now, this is the thing about that. Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 9.
Go ahead.
Lest I be full and deny thee.
When you got fullness of bread, you will deny God. You see what our people, when they get a little bit of money, it's probably why the Lord ain't allowed them people to give us no reparations. Just like Dave Chappelle showed in his show. Once you get full, you will deny God. That was the state of Sodom. Was that it?
And say, who is the Lord?
And say what?
Who is the Lord?
Who is the Lord? Go ahead.
Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of my God in vain.
Go back to Ezekiel 16.
Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 49.
Uh-huh.
Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom.
Go ahead.
Pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness.
And what?
And abundance of idleness.
Go to Sirach 33:27. An abundance of idleness. Think about a land that's flourishing, that produces so much on its own, right? That means it's less of a need for labor, or people's lives are generally less laborious, right? Watch this. Read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 27.
Come on.
Send him to labor, that he be not idle.
Go ahead.
For idleness teacheth much evil.
Idleness teaches much evil. So when you have idle time, when you don't have to dig in the ground all day and work just to have something to eat by the end of the day, when you got a stocked up refrigerator, you understand, when you got food in the pantry, so on and so forth, right? You are able to be idle. Now give me the next clip. Abundance of idleness. Because a lot of us, we like to say that we so busy. We don't got time to do this or this or that. I don't have time to study. Okay. Read what you got. Play that. Come on.
This is just something that occurred to me this week. I was complaining about, not out loud, just mentally, like I don't have enough time to get certain things done. Whatever that is, vlogging, podcasting, gym, managing time. Mm-hmm. But while I'm complaining mentally about my time, I'm scrolling Instagram on my phone. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking up social media, and I'm going back and forth from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on repeat, while I'm complaining about not having enough time to get things done. And then I woke up the next morning, I grabbed my phone. I'm on Instagram, scrolling, right? And in my head, I couldn't be more guilty of this idea that we're wasting so much time on repeat, scrolling on these social media sites. And I was like, imagine if I didn't spend so much time here. And
So this is the abundance of idleness, and idleness teaches much evil. Think about all the rabbit holes in Twitter alone. You'll end up in virtual Sodom for sure. Instagram, Facebook, all of these, YouTube, all of these different social media apps, you will end up, it's so many different abysses. You understand? You can spend a whole day, you can spend a whole entire 24 hours on an app without realizing it. You just engulfed in the algorithm. And it teaches you much evil. It is taking hold of your spirit. All right? Now, go back to Ezekiel 16.
Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 49. Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom.
Go ahead.
Pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness was in her, and in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy.
So remember what Sodom was. It was notorious for vice, meaning evil. Idleness teaches much evil. If you full, the fullness of bread, you will deny God, right? Pride. But also, it said notorious for vice or corruption. Notice at the bottom of verse 49. Read the bottom again.
Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy.
So it was corruption. It was corruption. It was corruption. From there, go to Amos 5, verse 12. Amos chapter 5, verse 12, about the oppression of the poor. Read that.
The book of Amos chapter 5, verse 12.
Go ahead.
For I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins. They afflict the just.
They do what?
They afflict the just.
They afflict the just. Go ahead.
They take a bribe. And they turn aside the poor in the gate from their right.
They turn aside the poor in the gate from their right. From their right. Give me that next clip. Watch this. This is just an example. All right? Read that.
This is Jamal. Jamal is a boy who lives in a poor neighborhood. He has a friend named Kevin who lives in a wealthy neighborhood. All of Jamal's neighbors are African American, and all of Kevin's neighbors are white. Because Jamal's school district is mostly funded by property taxes, his school is not very well funded. His classrooms are overcrowded, his teachers are underpaid, and he doesn't have access to high-quality tutors or extracurricular activities. Kevin's school district is also funded by property taxes, so his school is very well funded. His classrooms are never crowded, his teachers are very well paid, and he has access to high-quality tutors and lots of extracurricular activities. Kevin and Jamal live only a few streets away from each other. So how come they're growing up in such different worlds with such different opportunities for success? The The answer has to do with America's history of systemic racism. To understand it better, let's look at what life was like for Kevin and Jamal's grandparents. Decades after the Civil War, many government agencies started to draw maps dividing cities into sections that were either desirable or undesirable for investment. This practice was called redlining, and it usually blocked off entire black neighborhoods from access to private and public investment. Banks and insurance companies used these maps for decades to deny black people loans and other services based purely on
Turning
race.
the poor
Historically
away
speaking,
from their right. Y'all see that, right? Keep going.
owning a home and getting a college education is the easiest way for an American family to build wealth. But when Jamal's grandparents wanted to buy a house, the banks refused because they lived in a neighborhood that was redlined. So Jamal's grandparents were not able to buy a home, and because colleges could prevent them from attending through legal segregation, their options for higher education were really scarce. Kevin's grandparents, on the other hand, got a low-interest loan to buy their first house and got accepted into a handful of top universities, which traditionally only accepted white students. This opened up a wealth of opportunities that they were able to pass on to their kids and grandkids. Even as late as the 1980s, an investigation into the Atlanta real estate market showed that banks were more willing to lend to low-income white families than to middle or upper-income African-American families. As a result...
Now, go back to Ezekiel 16:49, read the bottom again about Sodom. Read the bottom again.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 49. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy.
Y'all see that? So, like I said, we think of Sodom just a whole bunch of booty running around. But no, it was oppression. It was corruption, which God said was mighty sins. Now, read the next verse, verse 50.
Verse 50.
Go ahead.
And they were haughty.
So they were haughty. Give me 2 Samuel 22:28. They were haughty. When you haughty, that means can't nobody tell you nothing. Right? It goes back to the pride, but it's the spirit behind it. Read that.
2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 28.
Go ahead.
And the afflicted people thou wilt save.
So God gonna save the afflicted. Read.
But thine eyes are upon the haughty, that thou mayest bring them down.
That thou mayest what?
Bring them down.
That thou mayest bring them down. That's why God put that haughty spirit on Pharaoh. The same reason why he got the haughty spirit on this man. Put that on the screen. Play that. This is just an example of having a haughty spirit. I do what I want, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me.
I will end every single international crisis that the current administration has created, including the horrible war with Russia and Ukraine, which would have never happened if I was president, and the war caused by the attack on Israel, which would have never happened if I was president. And the entire world, I tell you this, we want our hostages back, and they better be back before I assume office, or you will be paying a very big price.
With the bandage on his ear. So that's an example of that haughty spirit. The Lord making him like that so he can puff him up to want to go against Christ. All right? So from there, go back to where you was at. Read verse 50.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 50.
Go ahead.
And they were haughty and committed abomination before me.
Now go to Leviticus 18:22. We all know this one. Committed abomination. Remember what it said about pride. He that hath it shall pour out abomination. Read that.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination.
Now give me the next clip. Give me the next. Abomination. Come on.
Go where anything goes nowadays. We had several school districts take young kids along to pride rallies, and this one, look at this clip. You can clearly see a completely naked man in the front row watching kids march. And staying in San Francisco, there was plenty more depravity and lefties losing it. And if you're wondering why police didn't intervene, well, listen to what these officers had to say.
And there's kids, wandering around the event. I'm not sure on San Francisco's laws or California's laws. Is it legal for nudity to be presented in front of kids?
Nudity is legal, yeah, within certain boundaries.
What are the boundaries? Do you know?
Coupled with a lewd act. Yeah, anything coupled with a lewd act or anything being done for sexual gratification that involves other people. Basically.
Okay, but this event wouldn't be considered for sexual gratification.
No, if they're walking around and it's out, that's right. That'd be different than if they're masturbating.
Oh.
So it's fine as long as they're not masturbating, if they're parading around, dancing suggestively in front of kids naked, that's okay in San Francisco. But it's not just San Fran. Let's go to that other lefty heartland, New York City, and see how Pride celebrations went there. You know what? There are a growing number.
All right, so Abomination. Now, all the clips, everything that I show is what we see present day in America. So where was I? Because I'm reading the sins of Sodom. So where was I really going with that? Revelation 11 and 8. Y'all know. Y'all know, but I just wanted to put this, I wanted to build up to this scripture to put it into perspective, because like I said, we usually read this and be like, Sodom, yeah, the gay capital, Egypt, slavery. But no, it's deeper than that. Read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8.
Come on.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
So this great city is called Sodom and Egypt, spiritually, because they got the same spirit. Sodom and Egypt, pride, fullness of bread, abundance of idleness, corruption, haughtiness, abominations. And we going to dig deeper into that too. Read on.
Where also our Lord was crucified.
Now go to Revelation 17:18. So it's right in that scripture, it says great city. It doesn't say the name of it. It just say that it's spiritually called Sodom in Egypt. Now read what you got.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 18.
Come on.
And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
So this great city would be the world power. It would reign over all the rest of the kingdoms of the earth. It would be the top country in the world. Jump up to verse 5.
Verse 5.
Go ahead.
And upon her forehead
so
was...
upon this woman's forehead, because it said that the woman which thou sawest is the great city. So this great city is a woman, and she has her name on her forehead. Read.
And upon her forehead was a name written. Mystery. Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations.
And what?
And abominations of the earth.
So Babylon the Great, spiritually called Sodom, the mother of abominations. That's the great city. All right? Now, go to Zechariah chapter 2, verse 6. So is this great city in the land of Chaldea, ancient Babylon? Is this great city in ancient Sodom over there, right? On the plain of Jordan? Let's see, Zechariah 2, verse 6.
Zechariah chapter 2, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north.
The what?
The land of the north.
Notice what it say. Ho, come forth, flee from the land of the north. That ain't talking about physical flight either. But flee from the land of the north. What's the land of the north? North America. Read.
Saith the Lord.
Come on.
For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, saith the Lord. Deliver thyself, O Zion.
O Zion is us. Read.
That dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
With the who?
The daughter of Babylon.
So by the time you get the Revelation, it's a woman. It's a great whore, right? But it started off as the daughter of Babylon. Who is that? Psalms 137:7.
The book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 7.
Come on.
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
Of who?
Of Edom.
Esau, the white man. Read.
In the day of Jerusalem.
Come on.
Who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof.
Read.
O daughter of Babylon.
What is Edom?
O daughter of Babylon.
So that's the land of the north. The daughter of Babylon, Edom, the land of Esau, their kingdom. Go ahead.
Who ought to be destroyed.
Who ought to be destroyed. So Babylon the Great in Revelation is the land of the north where the daughter of Babylon rules, which is Edom. All right? The last ruling kingdom of the earth is going to be the one that the Edomites rule, and they're going to be spiritually called Sodom. They're going to take that sodomite spirit that we read, not only the gay stuff, not only the abomination, the sexual abomination, but the fullness of bread, the idleness, the abundance of idleness, and the corruption. You understand? Now, go to Genesis chapter 18, verse 6. So now, time has went by. When you read Genesis 14, some kings had went to war with Sodom. And Abram had to go take his nephew back. And he got the spoils for Sodom back. Then in chapter 15, chapter 16, chapter 17, this is years have went by. All right? Genesis 18, verse 16.
The book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 16.
Come on.
And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation.
Jump down to verse 20.
Verse 20, the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous.
Right, so Abraham went with these men, they was angels, to basically show them how to get to Sodom. And now they're revealing why they trying to go to Sodom. It says, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous. Go ahead.
I will go down now, and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if not, I will know.
So the angels, we got to go see, because we've heard, but now we got to witness the wickedness of Sodom. Right. Go ahead.
And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord.
Go ahead.
And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked?
Right. So while the angels went on their way to Sodom, Abraham is pleading with the Lord. Are you going to destroy the righteous among the wicked? Who is he making reference to? He's read about his nephew Lot in his household, right? But jump down to verse 32.
Verse 32.
Go ahead.
And he said, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure, 10 shall be found there.
So if it's 10 righteous in the land of Sodom, which has a population of thousands, if it's just 10 righteous, Lord, 10, will you save it? Will you preserve it? Go ahead.
And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake.
So if it's at least 10, I ain't going to do nothing to it. That's the deal that God made with Abraham, right? So now, go to chapter 19, verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom.
Go ahead.
And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet. And ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
Remember, they on a mission. They got to see what is all this wickedness they hearing about in this place. But Lot like, no. Come inside. Come on. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to treat y'all right. They're like, nah, we going to stay out here all night. Go ahead.
And he pressed upon them greatly.
Lot was like, no. You don't want to do that. You understand? Come in. Read.
And they turned in unto him and entered into his house.
And they're like, all right, like, damn. Go ahead.
And he made them a feast and did bake unleavened bread and they did eat.
So remember, all this is at night. This is even. All right, go ahead.
But before they lay down,
So they done got full. You understand? They done ate good. Now they about to lay down and get some rest. But before they was able to lay down, read.
the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young.
Both what?
Old and young.
So it's saying, old, what it say? Old and young. Read that. Play that.
Culture from a heteronormative society into one where anything goes, no boundaries, no values, no morals. It's a hedonistic cult, basically, what they're implying.
Another blaring example, drag queen story time. It's happening in Canada and America, where some public schools and libraries invite drag queens, some dressed like horned demons, to read to young children.
And it's a social deconstructionist agenda. They're using children, little 5-year-olds, to accomplish this. And parents are waking up and saying no.
When asked about parents' rights, OJ says,
well, actually, in Canada, parents' rights are limited and children's rights are put ahead. So the child has the right to be protected from the parents when the parents behave badly.
Canada is known as one of the most gay-friendly countries.
Right? So this was 6 years ago, by the way. So it ain't no telling what America done done. Biden done got in office and all of that. So America done probably did what Canada was already doing and putting children's rights ahead of parents. They said protecting children's rights. So they put the children's rights ahead of the parents' rights. So if the child wants to entertain all of that sodomite activity or whatever they can freely, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. You cannot discipline your child for that. You can't control what they entertain at school. If that's at school, when they at school, you got to let them entertain. I'll be telling y'all, stop sending your kids to public school.
That's
All
right.
But this is how they get them. They start young. In America, they start young, and it's getting worse and worse. So Sodom was at that point where old and young, they was all like that. Go back to Genesis 19, verse 5 now.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 5.
Go ahead.
And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
That we may know them. And it ain't saying they want to know their name and go shoot some hoops. All right? It's saying it's deeper than that. No diddy. Go ahead.
And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. That's like when we dealing with them on the street. That's what we be saying. You know what I'm saying? But the Lot is protesting unto them. Do not so wickedly, brothers. Go ahead.
Behold now, I have two
So
daughters.
think about it. Why would it be wickedly to know somebody? So that's how you know. The know is something else. Go ahead.
Behold now, I have two daughters which have not known man.
You see that? What does that mean? His daughters didn't know him? Of course his daughters knew their daddy. So what does it mean they have not known man? They had not yet been sexually active. So that tells you what it means when it said, bring them men out that we may know them, meaning so we can get sexually active with them. Go ahead.
Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
So not like, man, look, just do some regular fornication. What the hell? Don't. These brothers, come on, man. That ain't right.
Nigga, you gay.
Come on.
And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge.
So, hold on. So this one fellow came to sojourn. So Lot never assimilated with Sodom. He never blended in. He always stuck. Remember, this is Genesis 19. It has been many years since he first sojourned in chapter 13. He done had kids that had grown up to marital age. You understand? So for the longest, since he had been there, he was known to be different than everybody else. All right? They said, this dude in came to sojourn, and he think he gonna judge us. You can't judge me. Go ahead.
Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
So they was very violent and rambunctious, like Fleece Johnson, the booty warrior, aggressive. I like you and I want you. You can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Wait a minute.
Lord have mercy. Read.
But the men put forth their hand and poured Lot into the house to them.
So the angels put forth their hand and poured Lot in the house. Read.
And shut to the door.
Come on.
And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great.
Read.
So that they wearied themselves to find the door.
Go ahead.
And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides, son-in-law, and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place.
Do what?
Bring them out of this place.
Come out of her. Read.
For we will destroy this place.
For what?
For we will destroy this place.
We finna destroy this mouth. He nasty. Go ahead.
Because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord.
So the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord. Read.
And the Lord have sent us to destroy it.
So look at that. He tells Lot, hey, you get your house, whoever, get out of this place because we finna destroy this place.
Get out.
Get that in Revelation 18. Remember, Babylon the Great is spiritually called Sodom. It's the same thing. We got the same charge. Read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4.
Read.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people.
Now watch this.
That ye be.
Come out of her, my people. Now, remember, remember we read in Job 11 and 6 and all that at the beginning of the class, right? This stuff is symbolic. When the Lord is saying come out of her, it's not talking about physically like Lot, right? How do we know that? Hold that. Get 2nd Ezra chapter 11. Watch this. And this is about Babylon the Great, that last ruling kingdom, which is spiritually called Sodom. 2nd Ezra 11 and verse 40.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 11, verse 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were passed.
That fourth, that last one, when you read the book of Daniel. Go ahead.
And had power over the world with great fearfulness.
Which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Read.
And over the whole compass of the earth.
And over the whole compass of the earth.
With much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
So what does this verse tell you? Babylon's branch, they eagle wings have covered the whole earth. It ain't nowhere you can go physically to escape the sins of Babylon. They the mother of abominations. They got kids everywhere.
Better take heed to this.
So when we go back to Revelation, 18 and 4.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 4.
Come on.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
So that's what it's going into, not being partakers of her sins. You have to come out of her, meaning your mindset, your character, the way that you live. You understand? You have to become a stranger. You have to realize that you are a stranger and a pilgrim to this place. Be not partakers of her sins, or you're going to be partakers with the plagues. The same thing he told Lot. You better get out because we about to destroy this place. So go back to Genesis 19. All right, verse 14 now.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city.
The Lord will do what?
Destroy this city.
So Lot is prophesying to his sons-in-law. Read.
But He seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
He seemed like a damn crazy person. Dude, tweak it. Talking about the Lord gonna destroy this place. Who is the Lord? Who is the Lord? What the hell this dude talking about? The Lord gonna destroy this place. Yeah, right. Look at this place. It's paradise. Read.
And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened.
My bad. Hold that. Go to 2 Peter 3, verse 3. 2 Peter 3, verse 3.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 3.
Go ahead.
Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts.
So it's going to be in the last days scoffers. You know what I mean, a scoff? Hey, bro, you know we the Israelites. You better repent or die. Yeah, right. The hell out of here. So it's going to be in the last days, people with that same spirit. They're not going to take us serious. They're not going to take our warning serious, brothers, because they walking after their own lust. Read.
And saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the
where your Lord at then? Y'all been teaching that for years, talking about the America going to get destroyed. Yeah, right. Read.
For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
Man, I was at the strip club the other day, and I'm going tonight. Hell you talking about? Repent. It's the world that we living in. That's what Lot went through. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9.
Read.
For I think that God hath set forth us the apostles last.
Apostles last, meaning in the last captivity, after all the other movements have already passed. Christianity, Islam, the UNIA, the economic stuff, all of that, right? We are the last movement. Read.
As it were appointed to death.
And we're going to die for this truth. Read.
For we are made a spectacle unto the world.
We are made a spectacle unto the world. What is that talking about? We're looked at as clowns. That's why they call you Purple Power Rangers. When you teach on the street, they're like, this dude a damn fool yelling at people with a Bible on a corner. The hell he think this is? We are made a spectacle to the world. Go ahead.
And to angels and to men. We are fools for Christ's sake.
You see that? We are fools for Christ's sake. That's why it said, Lot was unto them as one that mocked, like a clown. Trying to get you. That's how they perceived Lot. You understand? And that's our Lot as the prophets of the Lord. Same thing. Go back to Genesis 19. Read verse 15 now.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 15.
Come on.
And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
So take your wife and your 2 daughters, leave them stupid dummies behind, they husbands, and get up out of here. But notice they hasten Lot, meaning they rushing them. Go ahead.
And while he lingered.
While he what?
While he lingered.
But Lot lingered a little bit. Go ahead.
The men laid hold upon his hand.
So the angels had to grab him. Come on.
And upon the hand of his wife. And upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him.
The Lord what?
Being merciful unto him.
The Lord was merciful to Lot, because his ass shouldn't have he was lingering a little bit. Angel had to grab him. That was the Lord's mercy. God shouldn't have to grab you, but come on. Read.
And they brought him forth and set him without the city.
Now watch this. Give me 2 Esdras 14, verse 14.
The book of 2 Esdras, chapter 14 and verse 14.
Come on.
Let go from thee mortal thoughts.
Mortal thoughts. Read.
Cast away the burdens of man.
The what?
The burdens of man.
Read.
Put off now the weak nature.
These are things that hold us back today. Because we know the scriptures say the kingdom is within us. The kingdom don't come with observation. We supposed to bring that jump forth. Labor and pain to bring forth, right? But I'm tired. I'm drained from work. But damn, but wait, another blitz? You understand? God said, put off the damn weak nature. The English blitz. Come on.
That's right. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee.
Set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto, because you got to imagine what was on Lot's mind. Like, damn, hold up. I got stuff here. You know what I'm saying? This has been my life for decades. Sheesh, it's really finna, whoa, hold on. Man, set aside them damn, to hell with them thoughts. Read.
And haste thee to flee from these times.
Hurry up to flee from these times. Hurry up. Get your boots on the ground. Do the work. You understand? Make haste to flee from these times. Same thing the angels told Lot. Go back to Genesis 19. Where we was at? Verse 17 now. Come on.
Genesis chapter 19 and verse 17.
Come on.
And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life. Look not behind thee.
Do what?
Look not behind thee. Neither stay thou in all the plain.
Don't linger. No more. Go ahead.
Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, O not so, my Lord.
Read.
Behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die.
Read.
Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live.
So he negotiated. Let me escape to the little city. Right? Go ahead.
And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken.
Because it was one of the cities that was on God's hit list along with Sodom and Gomorrah. But Lot negotiated that thing. You're like, all right, I'm going to let you go there. Go ahead.
Haste thee, escape thither. Or I cannot do anything till thou become thither.
So remember, this is the angel finna bring the wrath of God on Sodom. He said, haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything until thou become thither, until you go from this premises. Read.
Therefore, the name of the city was called Zoar.
Now go to Revelation 7 and verse 1. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
This is talking about destruction. Go ahead.
And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God.
Watch this.
And he cried with a loud voice to
and we know what the seal is, right, brothers? What's the seal? What's the precept? Isaiah 8:16. Go ahead.
And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea.
So these angels had the power to destroy the earth in the nations. Read.
Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea,
come on,
nor the trees.
Till when?
Till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
Till we have sealed the servants of God in their forehead. In their forehead. Hey, remember what I told y'all. Lot fleeing physically, that's symbolic. This last kingdom, they wickedness is all over the world. It ain't nowhere you can physically get away from it. We have to seal the laws of God in our minds. Read on.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Now get that in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 9. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 9. So it said, hurt not the earth until them 144,000 Israelites, which is a very small remnant of us, are sealed in their foreheads, till their mind is no longer Babylonianized, but they are fully devoted and committed to the Most High God. That's when you can hurt the earth. That's when you can destroy it. Read what you got.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 9.
Read.
Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant.
Unless the Lord left that very small remnant. Read.
We should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
So, if it wasn't for us, if there was no truth, if it was no keep the commandments and live understanding that came out in this earth, each and every last one of us eventually would have dibbled and dabbled or became full-fledged sodomites. Now watch this. Play that clip real quick. I'm telling you, that's why the Lord gonna make the time short. Read that. Play that. Come on.
Hey, check it out. Gangstalicious sent me a box of free gear, and I'm gonna be the first nigga on the streets to rock it.
Gangstalicious sure does send you a lot of free stuff.
Hey, man, Gangstalicious is my homie.
Oh, now you're homies. Yesterday, you was a punk.
Sometimes you just gotta put aside your differences and work through problems with your homie, so y'all can keep to being homies. You feel me, homie?
That's very sensitive of you, Riley. And you're okay with his lifestyle.
Well, I mean, I know he ain't no real gangster, but that's cool. Cause see, he's in entertainment. He ain't gotta be out in the streets like I do. He's telling our stories for us.
So you're okay with him being gay?
Gay? Who said he was gay? Nigga, is you crazy? Gangstalicious gay. You crazy.
Come on, Riley, the song, the dance, do the homie.
The homie dance ain't gay. I do the homie.
That's not gay. You who thinks everything in the world is gay?
Nigga, you gay. You gay. Y'all niggas are gay. Nigga, you gay. That's gay.
Licious, you got the hit song that's killing them in the streets right now. No, don't take that literally, folks. Just killing them in the streets. Homies over hoes. And now, I'm telling you, the clothing line's jumping off. This thing is, what do you say, Gelman? Off the hook? Tell us about that.
Well, Reeds, we just had to bring, our own flavor to the fashion game. Fashion is a real big thing to me and my crew, what I'm saying? Personal grooming, hygiene, facial, shiatsu, seaweed wraps, that type of thing. And we not doing it for the females, what I'm saying? We doing it just for us, that's real thing. Dun, dun, dun.
All right, now, we got some models. Check it over here with some of your new gear.
Now, the vest isn't actually bulletproof, correct?
No, not really, but it's a hot style. And pink is definitely the in color for the season. And here we have the Gangstalicious super long tee.
Oh, that's long, baby, but that's the style, right?
Oh, why is the backside cut out?
I knew you were gonna ask that, and I like your attention to detail, Kel. I tell you why. That way, you don't have to waste time lifting up your t-shirt. You can get to your toast real fast, Get the drop on a nigga. Not that we want the kids to carry guns or nothing like that, because we always tell the kids that ain't the way. Matter of fact, I had a song called Kids, That Ain't the Way. But if you got to pull a burner out on a nigga, this t-shirt could give you the half a second or more that may save your life.
Now this here is just amazing. Pearl necklaces. I didn't know men wore pearls.
Oh yes, definitely, Kelly. We just want cats out there in the street, to step their jewelry game up. It's all about pearl necklaces.
Wow, pearl necklaces. Well, I don't know if I could wear one, but fascinating.
Picture
No.
this. You're sitting.
Now, I just forwarded you some photos on the IT page. So this is today. This is a savage, drill, killer rapper that a lot of young dudes is listening to. And like you said, they were prophesying on this. This was a very long time ago. The Boondocks aired that. But they're gonna mingle hard street, up the tool on up the toaster on the nigga. From my skirt. What? Watch this. Put them photos on the screen. Now, them is girl pants. Like we grew up, that's like them girl pants. You understand? Go to the next one. Now, zoom in on this. Now, come on now, dog.
Come on now.
This
dog.
ain't even. You couldn't even jerk in these, bruh. But this is a killer. This dude rap about bodies. You understand? You know what he had to do to get them on, right?
Something ain't right.
He had to lean on the bed, put one leg up, squeeze, wiggle around.
Come on now, dog.
You understand? You sisters know what I'm talking about when you was in the world, what you had to do to put them damn pants on. That's what he had to do.
Oh my God.
Nigga, you
Go to
gay.
the next photo. Come on, man. Don't make no damn sense. Go to the next one. This is a tough guy. These photos is terrible. Was that it? Look at that, bro. Yeah.
What the hell?
All right. So now go back to Genesis. Genesis 19:23. So just showing y'all Lot represented that small remnant that we are today. All right. Read what you got.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 23.
Uh-huh.
The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar.
Read.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground.
So the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and those surrounding cities with fire. Remember, he made a covenant, ironically, not to destroy the earth with water, and the symbol of that covenant was what? The rainbow. So he had to destroy the rainbow coalition with fire. You understand? But watch this. Go back to Sirach 16. We read it earlier. Sirach 16, verse 8.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 16 and verse 8. Neither spared he the place where Lot sojourned.
Sodom, read.
But abhorred them for their pride.
Go ahead.
He pitied not the people of perdition.
The what?
He pitied not the people of perdition.
What the guy called the Sodomites?
The people of perdition.
The people of perdition. Ain't that who we dealing with right now? Read on.
Who were taken away in their sins.
They died, and they were flamed in their flaming sins. Go to Jude, verse 7. The Lord flamed them up in a flaming abominations. Jude, verse 7.
Book of Jude, verse 7.
Come on.
Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication.
Fornication, homosexuality, and beyond. Read.
And going after strange flesh.
They got violent trying to get them angelic men. Read.
Are set forth for an example.
They are what?
Set forth for an example.
Out of all the wicked stuff that went on back in that day, he had to include the story of Sodom and Gomorrah and remind us about it throughout the scriptures. Because it was what? Set forth what?
Set forth for an example.
Sodom and Gomorrah was an example. Go ahead.
Suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Y'all know that land was never ever inhabited again, right? Right? Now, go to Isaiah 13, verse 19. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19. Remember, this great city we living in today was spiritually called what? Read what you got.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19.
And what was the name of that great city? Babylon. Read what you got.
And Babylon.
And what?
And Babylon.
Read.
The glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency.
Right. So the Chaldees today is not the Chaldees during Abraham's time. You understand? That's the upper echelon, the elite of America. And it's going to prove it as we read on. Go ahead.
Shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Because ancient Babylon during Nimrod time, and also the Babylon that we read about with Nebuchadnezzar and all of that, none of those Babylons were destroyed by fire. He did not destroy them in the fashion of which he did Sodom and Gomorrah. When you read Daniel, the Medians took over Babylon from within. You understand? It wasn't overthrown with fire from God. So what is this talking about? This is talking about Babylon the Great. Get that in Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 1. Jeremiah 50 and verse 1.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 1.
Read.
Verse 1. The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet.
Jump down to verse 40.
Verse 4.
So this is against Babylon. Read.
In those days.
No, verse 40.
Yes, sir. Verse 40.
Come on.
As God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
As God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. How did he do that? With what? With fire and brimstone. Go ahead.
As God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there. neither shall any son of man dwell therein.
So going back to verse 1, what is this talking about? This is talking about Babylon. Isaiah and Jeremiah was on the same page. Go to chapter 49, just in case. But I don't think it's talking about, I mean, it could have been ancient Babylon. Watch this. Now, was the ancient Babylon, was Nebuchadnezzar Edomite?
No.
Huh?
No, sir.
Why you looking like you ain't know? You. Yeah. The hell is this? Now watch this. Jeremiah 49:17. Watch this.
Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 17.
Come on.
Also Edom.
Who?
Edom.
Who?
Edom.
Edom, the white man. Go ahead.
Shall be a desolation.
Read.
Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof.
Watch this.
As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah.
As in what?
As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Come on.
And the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord.
Read.
No man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it.
It literally said the same thing he said in chapter 50 about Babylon, showing you that who would be Babylon the Great in the last days? The children of Edom. That's what the Lord is talking about. And that's the kingdom that we living in. It's going to get the same judgment. Sodom and Gomorrah was an example. You understand? Now, go to Luke 17:28. Luke 17:28. Come on.
The book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 28.
Read.
Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded.
Right. Fullness of bread. You understand? They was getting it in. Come on.
But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom,
The same day that light came out of her. Go ahead.
it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
Watch this.
Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
So in the last ruling kingdom of the earth, when Christ come back to establish his kingdom and judge this kingdom, it's going to be just like the days of Lot. It's going to be just like ancient Sodom. You understand? So they was living their best life. Remember, his sons was like, man, get up out of here. You understand? It's going to be the same way. Read on.
In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away.
Because you got, doomsday preppers and hoarders, and they really think they going to preserve their stuff through doomsday. Lord, like, man, you better leave that. Go ahead.
And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife.
Now, we didn't read about Lot's wife yet in Genesis 19. So go back to Genesis 19. So the Lord mentions when he returned, it's going to be like the days of Lot. Right? They was building and drinking and doing it, having a fun, and fire came down on it and destroyed it. Likewise, it's going to be when he returned. So remember Lot's wife. Genesis 19:26.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 26.
Come on.
But his wife looked back from behind him.
Damn. Because when you read up in verse 17, they got instruction. Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee. Remember in verse 16, the angels grabbed her hand too. Grabbed the hand of Lot and the hand of his wife. Lord have mercy on her, trying to save her. She got the instruction. Don't look back. Read verse 26 again.
But his wife looked back from behind him.
Come on.
And she became a pillar of salt.
Wisdom of Solomon 10:6. Why did she look back? Wisdom of Solomon 10, verse 6.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 6.
Come on.
When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities.
Who's that talking about? Who's that righteous man? Lot. Go ahead.
Of whose wickedness even to this day The wasteland that smoketh is a testimony.
Is a what?
A testimony.
An example. Go ahead.
And plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness. And a standing pillar of salt.
A what?
A standing pillar of salt.
Is a what?
Is a monument.
A monument of what?
Of an unbelieving soul.
Who was turned to a pillar of salt? So what was she? An unbelieving soul. The fire, she hearing it. She feel the heat from behind her. But she can't believe her paradise, where it was fullness of bread, where it was an abundance of idleness, where the gold and all those riches. Lot was rich. You understand? She couldn't believe that all of that was blown to smithereens. She looked back. Christ said, remember Lot's wife. Now go to 1 Samuel 15. Now you might be thinking, damn, that's a little harsh. She just look back. No, read what you got.
1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 23.
Come on.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
So she rebelled against one of the only rules, one of the simple instructions given to save her life. She rebelled. She was a witch. Go ahead.
And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry.
Right. When you in idolatry, you don't want to serve God. She was stubborn, just like her sons-in-law. But, you know, she went for a time, but she ended up looking back. The Lord said, remember Lot's wife. Go back to that. Luke 17:32. Now, you know, usually we pull that out to get on the women because women do have a lot of material attachments to this world. This world, you sisters, the makeup, like going to Africa, going abroad, even to the islands, and seeing the state of our people outside of Babylon the Great. We just need to drop the women off there for like a good month. And they'll humble them all the way down. They don't realize how good they got it in America. They want to bother you by buying makeup every other day. Oh, I need some foundation. Oh, I need this. What the hell? Oh, that's going to burn. What you going to have foundation in the wilderness? The hell is this? Read what you got.
The book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 32.
Come on.
Remember Lot's wife.
But the point is, this ain't just for the women. Christ is mentioning it, and it's for all of us that's in this truth. Remember Lot's wife. That unbelieving soul could be you, brother. Go ahead.
Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. And whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it.
So what was she, what did her heart desire? Her heart desired that she could still have her life that she had in Sodom with all those wicked men, with all that wickedness. She didn't want Sodom to be destroyed. Some of us, in our heart, deep down, we not ready to lose the lives that we have here. You better remember Lot's wife. That means you got an unbelieving spirit. So when trials and tribulations come, when these plagues hit the earth, you're not going to be in the right mindset. You're going to bug out. You're going to turn your back on the Lord. All right? Give me 2 Ezra 16, verse 40. And another thing to remember, all of this, it happened, it's actual history, but it's symbolic. What is your wife, brothers? That's your what? Huh? That's your rib. That's the bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh. So you might be a single brother. Guess what? You got that old man. You got that part of you that does not want to let Babylon go. You better extinguish that thing before the Lord come back. Or you going to be like that monument of an unbelieving soul. Read what you got.
2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 40.
Come on.
O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle.
Do what?
Make you ready to the battle.
Uh-huh.
And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
Be as what?
Pilgrims upon the earth.
You not of this world. You ain't attached to nothing in this world. Your kingdom, your home is in the heavens. And the Lord gonna make that thing descend upon earth and set up his kingdom. That's your belief. That's our faith. We walk not by sight, but by faith, right? So we not of this world. We don't belong here. But the trial's gonna come to really see. Watch this, read on.
He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away.
Uh-huh.
And he that buyeth, as one that will lose.
Read.
He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it.
Come on.
And he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein.
Come on.
He that soweth, as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes.
Come on.
They that marry, as they that shall get no children. And they that marry not, as the widowers.
All of those things are attachments, things that make you feel attached, that'll cause you to linger, or God forbid, look back. Oh, I got a business. My kids. You understand? But I just got married. We ain't even going to chamber yet. Da-da-da. You better, all that stuff we can do for now, it's all right. But just be ready. Like it say in verse 40, make you ready to the battle. Don't get caught slipping, because that's Satan's objective. Go to Luke 21:34. We almost through. Luke 21, verse 34.
The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 34.
Come on.
And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting.
Y'all know what surfeiting is, right? That's excess. You know what that goes back to? Fullness of bread. That's what America offers you. Go ahead.
And drunkenness.
And drunkenness, that's riots and reveling fun. Go ahead.
And cares of...
Which also comes from idleness. Hey, do you got time to get drunk if you busy doing the work? No. So that come from that abundance of idleness. Go ahead.
And cares of this life.
And cares of this life. That was Lot's wife problem. She still cared about what was left in Sodom, even when it was up in flames. She couldn't believe it. Cares of this life. Come on.
And so that day come upon you unawares.
You're not ready for the battle. You ain't ready. You're not prepared. You're not prepared for this world to be destroyed. Go ahead.
For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth.
Come on.
Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy.
That you may be what?
Accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
Lot was accounted worthy. You want to be accounted worthy. But it's a criteria, it's a standard that has to be met. Watch this. Go to 2 Peter 2, verse 6. The name of the class is I Am Lot. Just like him, we want to be accounted worthy to escape that fire that's coming to the daughter of Babylon, this great whore. Read what you got.
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 6.
The great whore gonna get burnt. Hallelujah. Read.
And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow.
Watch this.
Making them an example.
Making Sodom and Gomorrah what?
An example unto those that after should live ungodly.
Meaning, I didn't make no rainbow for fire. I made a rainbow saying I wouldn't destroy the earth with water no more. But I will overthrow your city with fire. That's an example. You understand? What I have done then, I will do again. That which have been done is that which shall be. Come on.
And delivered just Lot.
And did what?
And delivered just Lot.
And delivered just Lot. That just there is an adjective for Lot's character. It ain't saying he delivered only Lot. Like that, it was just Lot. No. It's saying he delivered just Lot, meaning Lot was a just man. Hold that. Give me that. Well, go to Esther. Esther 16 and 15 in the Apocrypha.
The book of Esther, chapter 16 and verse 15. But we find that the Jews, whom this wicked wretch have delivered to utter destruction, are no evildoers, but live by most just laws.
But live by what?
Most just laws.
Most just. Some of y'all look at these laws like they don't make sense. Why I can't do this? Why? You understand? God said they are the most just laws. Now get Ezekiel 18, verse 5.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 18, verse 5. But if a man be just and do that which is lawful and right.
So that's how you become a just man, by performing those most just laws. Guess what? God gave, that's the advantage that you have as a Jew. Those things were committed unto you. You understand? You just have to keep it, apply it, do that which is lawful and right if you want to be delivered. Go back to 2 Peter 2.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, verse 7.
Come on.
And delivered just Lot.
Meaning law-abiding Lot. Read.
Vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked.
Wait a minute. It says Lot was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. He was vexed. Give me that definition. I want number 2.
Vexed, annoyed, frustrated, or worried.
So the filthy conversation of Sodom. Remember, this is spiritual Sodom. When Lot dwelt in Sodom, he was annoyed, frustrated, worried, angry, irate, infuriated, maddened, exasperated, irked. You understand? Troubled, harassed, distressed, aggravated, peeved, ticked off, steamed by the filthy conversation of the wicked, the people in the world. Read verse 8.
For that righteous man dwelling among them in seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds.
So verse 7 mentions their conversation. Verse 8 mentions their deeds. Both of those things vexed his soul day to day. He was truly a stranger and pilgrim. He was truly just a sojourner. He was not one of them. He did not blend in. He did not find interest in the things that they found interest in. You understand? Those things vexed his soul. Now, dealing with the conversation, go to Sirach 27 and 13. Sirach 27 and verse 13.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 27, verse 13.
Go ahead.
The discourse of fools is irksome.
Is what?
Irksome.
It's irksome. What that is synonym for vex? To be irked. So the discourse of fools, meaning your worldly co-workers, your worldly family members, you understand? The people at the gym, the people at the people in the world, their conversation is supposed to irk you. It shouldn't be something that they talking about. They talking about a wicked ass show, and you, oh, what happened to such and such at the end? You getting all in the conversation like you one of them. That stuff supposed to irk you. Go ahead.
And their sport is in the wantonness of sin.
That was Sodom. The Sodomites. That was a sport to them. Now go to chapter 21, verse 18. Sirach 21, verse 18.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 21, verse 18.
Come on.
As is a house that is destroyed, so is wisdom to a fool.
Read.
And the knowledge of the unwise is as talk without sense.
For example, wicked ass rap music. Wicked music, period. You understand? Filthy conversation. All of that is the knowledge of the unwise. That's supposed to be like talk without, my spirit don't bear witness with that. I don't understand. You're not speaking my language right now. That's how we supposed to be. That's how we supposed to feel about these posts that we spend hours looking at and watching and entertaining and liking and sharing. We're supposed to be like, this don't make no damn sense. Where my Bible at? That's how we supposed to be.
That's right.
So that's dealing with conversation. Now let's deal with the deeds. It said he vexed his righteous soul day to day with their unlawful deeds. Go to Psalms 1 and 1. Psalms chapter 1, verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 1.
Come on.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
In the counsel of the ungodly. Come on.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners. Read.
Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
You ain't finna stand with them or sit with them. Read.
But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
If you meditate day and night in the law, think about how lit your lamp would be. You understand? Think about how much oil you would have. You would be literally like a real saint. If you meditated in the law day and night, that means with it ain't nothing else that can come out of your mouth except the word of God. You understand? People gonna be able to look at you and tell that you've been reading the Bible. It's gonna show on your face. Your face gonna glow. You understand? So with that comes a natural variance between you and those in darkness. You gonna be a light. You gonna be lit. You ain't gonna be able to blend in and mesh with the darkness. So that just goes to show, if we find ourselves standing with the wicked, we blend in with them somewhat, that just show that we not meditating day and night. It's a telltale sign. Keep reading.
And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water.
Come on.
That bringeth forth his fruit in his season.
Come on.
His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
Read.
The ungodly are not so,
but
are like the chaff
and Christ is going to burn the chaff with unquenchable fire. That's Matthew 3 and 12. Go ahead.
But are like the chaff which the wind driveth away.
Come on.
Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment.
The ungodly ain't going to stand in the judgment. They're going to burn in the judgment. Go ahead.
Nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous.
They're not going to make it. Read.
For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish.
Go to Psalm 26, verse 4. So this is the spirit of Lot. Righteous Lot, just Lot. He vexed his soul day to day with their wicked deeds. Read that.
Psalms chapter 26, verse 4. I have not sat with vain persons.
Meaning idiots. Come on.
Neither will I go in with dissemblers.
I'm not finna go in with dissemblers. People that's not about the unity that I'm about. Go ahead.
I have hated the congregation of evildoers. And will not sit with the wicked.
I would not chill with the wicked. Go ahead.
I will wash mine hands in innocence.
I will do what?
I will wash mine hands in innocence.
I'm not going to be partakers of her sins, because if I do, I'm going to be partakers of her plagues. So I'm going to wash my hands in innocency. Go ahead.
So will I compass thine altar, O Lord.
Now go to chapter 101. Psalms 101, verse 2.
The book of Psalms, chapter 101, verse 2.
Read.
I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way.
Oh, wow. Read.
Oh, when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart.
Sheesh. Read.
I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes.
I will do what?
I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes.
That's a hell of a pledge right there. A lot of us ain't ready to make that. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. Sheesh. Y'all hear that, right? I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. Read.
I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me.
Watch this.
A froward heart shall depart from me.
Uh-huh.
I will not know a wicked person.
Uh-huh.
Who so privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer.
So this is only talking about the people in the world, but the people in the body that murmur, that backbite, that slander secretly, and people that leave the truth or get put out and you get the order not to deal with them, but you do it anyway. That's wicked as hell. You understand? You're going to be partakers of their judgment. Read on.
Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me.
Uh-huh.
He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house.
Come on.
He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight.
That was the spirit of Lot. You understand? I can't deal with these damn fools. They vex me. They get on my damn nerves. From there, go to Sirach 12. No, Sirach 13 first. Sirach 13, verse 15. We almost through.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 15.
Come on.
Every beast loveth his like.
Every beast loveth his like, meaning every animal, he deals with his species animal. Go ahead.
And every man loveth his neighbor.
Same thing with us. I always get an analogy. When you went to school with the Chinese people, they sat with the Chinese people. The white boys sat with the white boys. The Negroes, we will be scattered around because we don't got no damn sense. But the general consensus is different nations, they deal with each other. They prefer one another. Go ahead.
All flesh consorteth according to kind.
Uh-huh.
And a man will cleave to his like.
So even within nations, you have different types of people. Some people, you know, they like to have fun. They're daring. They're adventurous. Some people, they cool. They mild. You understand? Some people like to study. They like knowledge. Some people, they like entertainment. You understand? So on and so forth. Every person will deal with the kind of person that they are. Right? Watch this. Verse 17.
Yes, sir.
Come
Verse
on.
17. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
So what fellowship does the wolf have with the lamb? Remember verse 15. Every beast loveth his like. The lamb is not like the wolf. The wolf is not like the lamb. You understand? Two totally different. You ain't no damn shepherd of wolves. You understand? So what fellowship have the wolf with the lamb? Read.
So the sinner with the godly.
So it's the same way as supposed to be with the sinner and the godly. Think about a sinner. That's the wolf. The wolf's job or the wolf's objective is to devour the lamb. You righteous, you dwelling amongst sinners. You playing with fire. That's a dangerous game. They are able to devour your soul. All right? Go to chapter 12, verse 13.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 13.
Watch this.
Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
Uh-huh.
Or any such as come nigh wild beasts?
Somebody playing with snakes and then the snake bite them. Is you going to pity them? No, you shouldn't have been playing with no damn snake. What's wrong with you?
Read. So one that goeth to a sinner.
One that goeth to a sinner. Read.
And is defiled with him in his sins. Who will pity?
Y'all see that? And like I said, y'all be at work playing with fire. That woman, yeah, she nice, she cool, but she wicked. She would defile you in the bathroom at work. The wicked Negro will too. You understand? Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? So if you entertain these people, you don't observe the time, and you mingle yourself with these people, you will be defiled with their sins. All right? So, 2nd Ezra 16:49. Still dealing with the mind of Lot. Read that.
2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 49.
Watch this.
Like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman.
That's like a wolf and a lamb. There's two different specimens. You understand? That they don't have no common interest, no common ground. Read.
So shall righteousness hate iniquity.
So shall what?
Righteousness hate iniquity.
So shall righteousness hate iniquity. Or it's supposed to. Go ahead.
When she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face.
Watch this.
When he cometh, that shall defend him.
When he cometh is talking about Christ. And he said it's going to be as the days of Lot. Right? When he cometh to do what?
When he cometh, that shall defend him, that diligently searcheth out every sin upon earth.
So who is the Lord coming to defend? People that diligently seek out every sin upon earth. What does that mean? What does that mean? They meditate in the law day and night. They trying to find everything in the Bible that they need to do to be accounted worthy to escape the plagues coming to spiritual Sodom. You understand? That's who the Lord coming to defend. Not him that's meditating in worldly music day and night. That's watching twerk videos day and night. You understand? That's diligently seeking out every sin upon earth. That's who we going to defend. Sirach 19 verse 5. So this is the spirit of light. He was dwelling in a land where sin was super accessible. But it vexed him because he was righteous. Read what you got.
Ecclesiasticus 19 verse 5.
Come on.
Whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness.
Whoso do what?
Taketh pleasure in wickedness.
Read.
Shall be condemned.
You going to be what?
Condemned.
And what's an example? What's a monument for all generations of condemnation? Sodom and Gomorrah. Read.
But he that resisteth pleasures.
He that resisteth pleasures. Go ahead.
Crowneth his life.
You do what?
Crowneth his life.
You crown your life. You get that deliverance. Now watch this. 2 Peter 3 verse 9. So all of this, everything lines up. This is spiritual Sodom. The Lord said the judgment for this place is going to be just like Sodom. Christ said when he returns, it's going to be just like the days of Sodom. So remember Lot's wife, and you want to have the mind of Lot. His soul was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. His righteous soul was vexed day to day of their unlawful deeds. He was not one of them, and they knew he was not one of them. Read what you got.
2 Peter chapter 3 verse 9.
Come on.
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward.
But it's long-suffering to us. Remember, the Lord had mercy on Lot. Go ahead.
Not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
Remember the angel told them angels, hey, hurt not the earth. Wait. Let them get the law sealed to their forehead. Go ahead.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
Read.
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Read.
The earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
What that sound like? Sodom and Gomorrah. But remember, spiritual Sodom, he rules over the whole earth with his wickedness. That's why I say the earth shall be burnt up. You understand? He has sodomized the planet. So the Lord got to push the refresh button on this giant with flames. Read.
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved.
So seeing that everything around us, even our precious possessions, and the people that we love that ain't gonna repent, seeing that all these things shall be dissolved. Your mama, your grandma, your car, your house, your garden, your backyard, all that's gonna be dissolved. Read.
What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
That's light. That's what manner of persons we ought to be in all manner of holy conversation and godliness. Read.
Looking for and hasting unto the coming.
Looking for and what?
And hasting.
And what?
Hasting.
Ain't that what we read in Genesis 19? The angels hasted Lot. You understand? Looking for and hasting. Go ahead.
Unto the coming of the day of God.
Read.
Wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved.
And
the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Come on.
Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth.
We strangers and pilgrims here. This ain't our home. This wicked ass place. I ain't looking for paradise here. You understand? I'm looking for new heavens and a new earth.
That's
right.
Wherein dwelleth righteousness.
Wherein dwelleth righteousness. Come on.
Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent.
Do what?
Be diligent, that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless.
12 tribes. 12 tribes. 12 tribes. And with that, we say shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.